I call this meeting of the Delaware Trust Board to order. It is 3:08 p.m. According to the agenda, we will open with a prayer. Chief, would you like to lead us in prayer, please?
Keşavman, Wanneshi, Keshavmakon, Wanneshi, Wibikishku, Luan, O Mixi, O B. I'm calling on the ancestor spirits and asking the Creator, first of all, thanking the Creator for this good winter day and for the food that we eat and water we drink. William Evelyn, the Napel, Ongande Wogan, the Nape Oak Mutis. I am asking the Creator to stand us up well and bring a blessing to all Delaware people and our friends. Manavikesh. Amen.
Thank you, Chief. In the absence of our board secretary, Marilyn Cole, I'll do the roll call. Chairman Mary Jo Peterson is present. Roger Stewart.
Here.
Joe Brooks.
Here.
Homer Scott.
Here.
John Thomas.
Here.
Marilyn Cole is absent. I spoke with her earlier today, and she is still having severe health issues, they're heart related, and is going to have to undergo some further procedures. Kay Anderson? Here. We do have a quorum with 6 members present. And we welcome our guests. I want to entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented here.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. And we have the minutes of the January 9th, 2019 meeting in here. We also have the minutes for the January 16th, 2019 special meeting in here. Has everyone had a chance to read these? If not, we can go over them now.
No, we just got the packets today. They were put out online yesterday. So I can't read them on my computer on the cover sheet as usual. I don't know what's wrong with my computer, the way they're sending it or something. I only opened the cover sheet.
Well, it will take some time then for everybody to be able to look over the minutes.
Okay.
Has everyone finished with the minutes? Joe, are you finished with the minutes?
Just about.
Okay, you let me know when, and we will discuss them.
I'm finished.
Okay. Are there any corrections? To either the January 9th or the January 16th?
I'll make a motion, we approve the January 9th minutes. January 9th, 2019 minutes.
Is there a second to that motion? Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve the January 9th, 2019 minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. And the January 16th, we have a motion to approve those. We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the January 16th, 2019 minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. We're now ready for the treasurer's report. Joe?
This report ended, starting was 12/31/2018, ending January 31st, 2019. Our fair market value as of 12/31 was $4,088,672.84. Fair market value as of January the 31st was $4,293,307.83, for a gain of $204,634.99. By the committee, reinvestment had carried forward to $29,427.18. Expenditures year-to-date, $480. Balance is $28,947.18. Cultural preservation had it carried forward to $32,300.42. Year-to-date expenditures, $218.30. Leaves a balance of $32,082.12. Community services carried forward was $11,173.23. Expenditures year-to-date, $3,050.56. Leaves a balance of $81.22.67. Education had carried forward of a $100 unrestricted donation, and that's been used at this point also, but not when these financials came out. So it still shows that they have a $100 balance. Elders Committee had carried forward to $16,214.93. Expenditure year-to-date, $80, leaves a balance of $16,134.93. Veterans Committee had carried forward of $8,826.04. Expenditures year-to-date, $180, leaves a balance of $8,646.04. Anybody have any questions?
See, on the reinvestment, the $480.
Common cost, probably. Yes, ma'am.
Was that,
That's the common cost. We agreed at the last meeting that
for
the common cost for education would be taken care of by the reinvestment committee.
Mhm. So that's education, or that's the, meeting stipends?
That is the meeting stipends, the
That's like
share of
education share
education's
of-
meeting stipends.
Okay, well, that makes sense to me, and I do recall that from the previous meeting. Does anyone else have any questions? I am pleased to see that $200,000 gain.
motion to approve the financials pending audit.
Okay, we have a motion to approve financials pending audit. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor of approving the January that should be 2019.
Did I put 2018?
That's easy to do in January.
Sorry.
Approving the January 2019 trust board financials pending audit, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. We're now ready for our committee reports, beginning with community service.
Community services, we had a meeting Monday of this week. We approved 2 emergency travel for $25 apiece for a total of $50. That's all we approved.
Am I looking at the wrong page? I see community services January 2019 and a total of $2,282.52.
What are you looking at, the financials?
Well, this page here,
Oh, that was already approved.
okay, so,
That was approved at the previous meeting.
okay, so you're talking about going forward from that point?
Yeah,
Okay,
I think that was already approved at the previous meeting, was it not? We shoved it? We had it
so the
before.
amount you're talking about, that little amount is in addition to that? It's
Yes.
what was approved. Okay, I understand. Is there any questions on community service? If not, we'll go on to cultural preservation committee, Homer.
Okay, we had our meeting February, February 5th, February the 4th, and we had discussed our Tuesday night culture potluck dinner, and we decided to have lunch meat, sandwiches, you make your own lunch meat furnished. We had, during that, then we had, talked about making, Indian dogs out of corn husks. And we had, as the person that was going to teach that class, then we, discussed our, we had said, excuse me, we had, talked about the stomp dance, and, we made sure that we was, checking the, see how much, of the things we had left to decide what we're gonna do for the stomp dance. Who's gonna be appointed, who's gonna be in charge of the money and leaders and the crafts, the options and, the vendor booth, and our, we're gonna have a concession stand on that too. We're having, chili dinner, free chili dinner and bean, dinner to people that shows up. Felix, Brown is gonna be our MC for the stomp dance, and he's a member of the Duck Creek band of Indians, stomp dance leaders, and usually when he shows up, there'll be a big crowd. And so we're hoping for a big crowd. We're asking donations for anybody for more cake for a cakewalk and items to auction off during that stomp dance, and each of the vendors that will have their booths will be paying a $10 for a booth space, and plus they will be donating an item to auction. Let's see, We, we've already, our top nest is gonna be at the, Louis Fairgrounds, which I got flyers here, if anybody needs to watch, look at a flyer.
Oh, yes, I didn't. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yeah, sure. I had one already.
Okay, do you need one?
That's what I got.
Oh. Did you need one? All the time? Sure.
But the door's gonna open up at 4 o'clock. It'll be open naturally, it's gonna be open up earlier for the cooks and everything, for meal. We're gonna start eating at 6 o'clock, that stop nest starts at 7, and we'll, go from there. Hopefully we have a great turnout, hopefully the weather's gonna be great. Everybody bring their lawn chairs and enjoy themselves and then stop this. Our next meeting is, March, 4th. And I kinda got ahead of myself there. On our Tuesday night, culture, potluck night, on the 12th of this month, we had at our meeting, we had our potluck dinner and our corn husk dolls that there was 27 people had signed up, and a lot of them didn't show up, but we ended up with 26 people there, and 26 about 26 of them made corn husk dolls. They were great. They're gonna be, matter of fact, they plan on being that stop dance that has their own booth and selling corn husk doll kits. And they're gonna do a demonstration at that booth for people that's interested for that.
Were there any pictures taken of the night that they made the dolls? Cause that would go so well in the paper.
I couldn't hear what
Yeah,
you said.
there were
Pictures.
some pictures.
Oh, there were pictures,
Yeah.
cause I got sick and I went and got the groceries and then brought them back here and decided to go lay down for a while and come back and woke up sick to my stomach, so I didn't make it, but I've seen pictures on
Yeah.
Facebook, I don't know who posted them, but I know it
Curtis.
showed Chief holding up one of the dolls. And
I
several
thought that
of them,
would be nice to put in the Delaware Indian.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was.
I don't know whose page it was.
Yeah, I should have brought,
Tribal members and the dolls, it'd be good to be in the paper.
yeah, there was male and females, and you could dress your doll up, straight, the girls had their straight dasher, I'm not straight dash, but cloth, or whatever, and the men had, to use their, have a robe on there, and, or dress up like a Indian warrior or whatever. And it was really fun, everybody got involved. A lot of, there's quite a few young kids there that, I would say age group, how old was
The
yours?
youngest one was 4.
4, mate, and half mate, and clear up to the oldest adult. We had a lot of fun. Yeah, we had the 2 girls, 2 women that taught the class. They were really good at showing how to make everything. And I forget her name. And, but I thought they done a good presentation, a good class. It lasted probably an hour and a half for that class. It was great. I mean, we all enjoyed it, we laughed. And they had the material there for the clothing, for the, corn husk dolls and everything. And I love it because you can do you can make a lot of stuff out of that corn husk. And it was really exciting to me. Hey, what things you can make out of this. So anyway, they're gonna be at the stop that.
not just for tamales.
Not good for what?
For tamales.
And it's not just for tamales.
And so, that's about all I have now.
Where did you get those husks at?
They brought the husks with them.
Well, they're big corn husks.
And matter of fact, if you want, you know, at any of your stores that has, sells corn on a cob with a husk, you could save them and dry them up, and to make them out of dog, you keep them soaked in water. And usually, you know, the husk will be brown, and you soak them in water, and it's real, you can get about anything you want to eat out of them. And it was very exciting. And Joe, he didn't make one, but Chick did.
Yeah, there's a picture of Chief.
I helped him.
They both were,
Good
they
picture
were.
of Chief grinning and holding his, and I saw.
You guys should have seen that 2-year-old that I took.
That's one of the ones that was, adults were like it. But it was great, and I encourage I encourage people to come up to our, Tuesday night, shows, for our crafts and stuff, because it's becoming a really enjoyable time. And we didn't have our drumming because of the crafts we had, and of course because of the weather. And so, the drumming is gonna be coming back too. So as we get more people coming, we're getting more crafts and more things to do, and a lot of women's things to do, and men that learn drumming and making, eventually making drumsticks and stuff like that. So I encourage everybody to bring somebody or to come out. It's really enjoyable.
When will your next meeting be?
The fourth.
Oh, Leslie?
I noticed in the minutes that you approved a budget for the stomp dance of $3,000.
Oh, yeah.
My question, is that something that the trust board needs to vote for or against? And that it's over the $500?
Yeah, yeah, we do. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Sorry.
That was why I had my.
Okay, just didn't want the stomp dance to not be, yeah.
That
I
would
had the
cover
same
everything.
Thank you.
That'll cover our food and our supplies, the rental building, paying out to our leaders. I'll go ahead and give you a payout, for our leaders. For our leaders, it's gonna be $30. Our shelf shakers is gonna be $25. The youth, leaders gonna be, $20, that goes for shelf shakers and leaders. The MC, is gonna be $500.
Oh, you had a $32,000 carry forward, so it's certainly within your.
And I'm furnishing me
Yeah.
for the
Yeah, I'm
children,
furnishing
so
them.
I'll need
I'm
to
furnishing
big
the
beans,
beans.
tomatoes,
So-
that big on the expense on groceries.
Yeah, I'm gonna furnish the ham and beans. And we already voted, the kitchen's gonna make all the cornbread for us the day before, so.
Probably 30 pounds of venison.
Well, at the end of your report, we can entertain a motion to approve that and get that taken care of for you.
Good report.
Yes.
But thanks for bringing that. Because we needed that to get everything. Put down a new business.
Put in new business. Okay, that sounds fine to me, and like I
Mary
said,
Jo,
maybe you have it.
can we go back to community services just a second?
Certainly.
I think I read these amounts off the last meeting, but we didn't have the report from Alan yet,
I see.
so I think this, but just to make it clear, in January, we approved one burial for $750, one dental for $300, one elder prescription for $79.74, 5 emergency for $912.78, and one medical for $240 for a total of 2282.52. That was our January meeting.
Yes, and that
So
was
I think I
a-
read some figures off
Mhm.
at our January meeting, but I'm not sure,
Well, they've been read into the record now.
just to clarify.
Is there any question? Oh, yes. Joe?
So are you gonna vote on the
We're
budget
gonna do it under new
New
business.
under new
New
business? Okay, I'm sorry.
Refer it
Thank you
there.
for taking your hat off.
If there's no further questions on cultural preservation, we'll move on to education. And Marilyn is not here, of course. Yes, Joe?
I'll give the education committee report. There was no meeting, no action taken because of lack of funds. So,
That seems appropriate to me. Okay, on to elders committee, Kate?
Okay, we went to Hominy on December 13th, and, what?
We went up on a hill.
Cause the weather,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so we were supposed to go to Ponca City, and the weather got really bad, so they decided we'd call a truck meeting, going to the hill instead. And then after that, we always go to Brahms to get Bonnie's ice cream. Anytime we make a trip, we go to Brahms afterwards. And, let's see, what else did we do?
I think that was it. Okay, for the moment, wasn't it?
Our next, casino trip would be to, Omni.
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
13th.
March 8th.
Yeah.
Going to Omni.
So you went to,
we
here
went,
in town,
yeah, we went up on the hill,
instead of going to,
going to Ponca City,
Ponca City,
because
we went
the
there.
weather was bad and everything, so,
that same day, you went that same day?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we just canceled it, going to Ponca City and go to the hill instead, it's a lot closer.
Yeah.
When you say on the hill, where's that?
Barnesville, Osage Casino.
Oh, okay, that hill.
The hill,
Okay,
that's what they call it, it's going to the hill.
scenic out there with the horses.
Yes, I also wanna say, that, I don't think we had any complaints on, people losing, any amount of money. There was some, but there's a lot, it's a lot of people I talked to that were in our group, done pretty good. Or even though I've got a couple dollars a day.
I went 400.
Did you keep it?
No, went back next day. Back.
When we go to the Osages, they always give us a $25 free play,
Oh, that's
plus a
very nice.
$10 food voucher,
Very nice.
so they can go to the grill and order anything they
Kind
want.
of an intertribal
We all had a
courtesy.
good time.
And since everybody, we go right after lunch, most people get their meal to go and take it home for supper.
Oh,
So, yeah, do that, go have their dessert first at Brahms and go home and eat their supper.
so there's something today then.
Yeah.
And they dangle $25 of free play in front of you, and then you give them a little more.
Just as a thank you. Is there anything else for culture, or not for cultural, for elders?
That's all.
Okay, any questions on the elders committee? If not, reinvestment, no meeting, so no report. But John, after the meeting, maybe we can get together and figure out when we might meet. We haven't
Okay.
met for a while.
I've got something to add to the elders.
Oh, yes.
We also approved buying a blanket for the oldest living full-blood Delaware every 3 months. Not for the same one twice, but for the next in line. Then we also approved buying a Pendleton blanket for the oldest living Delaware, no matter what the blood quantum is, every 3 months. The committee approved that. That's something else we did at the elders committee. I just about forgot it myself.
Have we given one since Clover got hers?
No,
Okay, that's been a
Yeah,
while.
cause
Yes, it is.
it was a hard time catching up with her or her with us, and then she came down here and
She
checked with
gave
her.
her the blanket, I've got a picture
So
of that.
we'll have to get that from, enrollment. Find
They
out
just
who
sorted
they are.
out by birthdays, yeah. When we did clovers.
Yeah,
The owners are purchasing the, blanket.
Yeah.
Okay.
no, the elders committee don't
Yeah,
tell them.
yeah. Be responsible for
Yeah.
that.
And tribal operations, I imagine no meeting, so no report. Veterans Committee, okay.
On the veterans,
Yes,
the, credit guard was asked to go to the, Oklahoma Indian Education in Oklahoma City.
mhm.
We brought in colors up there, and the woman that was announced to be the head education on the, for Oklahoma Indians, she was a, let's see, she's always on TV. Chickasaw. She does Chickasaw.
All of the public announcements for
Yes,
Chickasaws.
and she was there to get her, sworn in for that, deal, and it turned out to be a pretty good, deal. They had other things going on there, there's a lot of spectators here, watching it, it was cold, but it was turned out pretty good, they treated us well and showed us, everything, and we had a nice time up there. And so, that's what the elders were invited to. Program was invited to go up there and bring in colors for that.
Oh, that's nice to have the Delaware's represented there.
Yeah, this is the first year the Delaware is represented, majority that's western tribes, and, it was, voted, at the Delaware record from, northeastern Oklahoma.
That should have been, that should have been in the report, actually.
Yeah. I don't know if we had,
You remember what we voted on?
yeah,
If there wasn't a written report in minutes, we was gonna start withholding funding.
Because our CFO needs something minutes where.
And I'd like to know why there wasn't a meeting. Each committee's got a co-chair.
okay, we had a meeting the 21st.
This is no meeting,
Well, actually, it says no report available.
no report.
No report. Oh, that's because we did, our meeting was after the, after the, select board meeting.
So at
But the
our next,
report should have been in here from what you did in January. See what I'm saying?
oh,
So we hadn't had a February, meeting yet.
So-
Meeting next
so
Tuesday.
when the color guard went over there to Oklahoma City, that was in February?
Yes,
Okay, so then the report on that's gonna be included in our packet for the March meeting, correct?
right.
Okay,
But still, we canceled the Veterans Committee meeting because King Brown or somebody couldn't be here. We really shouldn't cancel them meetings, we should go ahead and have them. Co-chair, Roger, you're the co-chair, you go ahead and call a meeting. Kenny doesn't call one, you can.
Was that the meeting that, the person that was wanting to give the presentation about the wall? I forget his name.
Yeah,
I forget his name, but I remember.
yeah, John Tucker's, boss,
John Tucker.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's your son?
It was for a building, and their company is laying the walls, those ladies all.
is there anything else on the committee reports? Any other questions or comments? Okay, well, thank you for everyone who presented a report.
I'll make a motion, let me approve all the committee reports.
We have a motion to approve the committee reports as presented. Do we have a second for that? Okay, motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed? They are approved. On to unfinished business. Yes, Joe?
Mary Jo, due to Arvest Bank and a bunch of our tribal members, the trust board is really getting raked by the tribal members because we're not anywhere as close down to $3.8 billion. They're upset because we didn't set a budget. I think we should set a budget, and the amount I'm gonna recommend, we made, in January alone, we made $204,634.99.
Which more than offset the prior year's losses.
Not quite, but close.
Well, if you look at
If you
the,
take the 2 years combined, yes, it outdoes them by 160,000. If you add 17 and 18 together, this amount takes care of the $40,000 loss. Absolutely. So I'm not gonna make a motion to set the budget at 204,000 for sure.
well, no,
But I am gonna make a recommendation that we set the budget at 175% of that amount, for $153,476.24, with the right to review and alter the budget every 3 months. In other words, we'll look at our finances again in April of this year. We could either raise the budget or lower the budget. Same thing the next 3 months. We can either raise it or lower it. You can't predict a year in advance what our investments are gonna do. So for that reason, I'm making that in form of a motion that we adjust it every 3 months. But I'm making it in my motion that we approve $153,476.24 for the year 2019, with the right to change that figure every 3 months.
And I second that.
we have to see if that is allowable under the trust document.
I think it is allowable, because it doesn't say anything about you can't set a budget. It merely says it'll be based on earnings.
The annual
Well-
earned interest is used to fund the program and services. So you're saying although that the annual earnings of last year was a loss, because in this first month, we have such a big earnings, based on that, you want to,
But also, what about the earnings from 2017? We earned 300 and some thousand, but we only set our budget 160.
that's probably why almost every single program had carryover, because it was set so
That's
high.
why I'm saying we should go ahead and set a budget.
Leslie, what are your thoughts on this?
We fluctuate so much when it comes to the investments. I'm straddling the fence on it. Part of me is if we come back every quarter and we end up having to cut a budget, then you have committees that have already committed themselves to activities or scholarships or et cetera, and you cut them down, then they've gotta go back to cutting services again. And it's not guaranteed that we're definitely gonna make money every time you turn around. I prefer.
That's true, that's why I'm saying every 3 months, we have the right to revise it. We have a paper that comes out quarterly.
Yeah, but if you come up in a quarter and we've lost another $300,000 in that quarter, are you gonna take the budgets completely away?
Probably not completely, but we'll revise it for sure.
So you're gonna cut them down half?
I think that's what this trust board's for. I don't know about half, but they would cut them, I'm sure. That's up to
Well,
everybody
if you're
on the
going-
stress board.
If you're going by quarters, then wouldn't you want the budget to be only a quarter of a year's work? So that
No, I
they
think
aren't
we already said
spending
it for the whole
amount.
year with the right to adjust it. Cause if you said it for the whole year, and then we only earn, say we only earn 75,000,
Mhm.
you wouldn't have, you wouldn't have a right to adjust it.
Well,
I'm saying to adjust it because we're giving $400 for scholarship this quarter.
Mhm.
We might not have the money to do that next quarter, we may have to cut it 300.
Mhm. Well, what I'm saying is that if you are budgeting for only that 3 months, wouldn't you want the amount to be just,
We're not budgeting for just that 3 months, we're budgeting $153,476.24 for the entire year, with the right to revise that amount every 3 months.
what if a committee spends that whole amount in that first quarter?
Well,
Education has spent their whole amount.
Education wouldn't even come close, we've got 40 applications at $400, that's roughly $16,000.
Mhm.
Education's share of that would be, 30%, 153,000. Be $45,000. But in a quarter, we may decide that for the fall semester, we may have to adjust that.
You might have to adjust them to 0.
Well, we hope not. But there's years when we had a lot more earnings than we spent, is what I'm saying.
And then you allow for a carry forward, and that's why all these committees still have money to spend, because they didn't
No,
spend.
all the
their
committees
whole
don't,
amount. Well, all of them but education.
and some of them are
Community
very
service
limited.
doesn't hardly have any left.
Yeah, community service and education are the two committees that are technically in what I can call, your dire straits.
Mhm.
But education, from what I've seen in the books, have not quit their budget at the end of the budget.
Mhm.
They've gone over
Mhm.
for the past few years and has had to request tribal council to supplement that.
That's why I'm asking this trust board to have the right to revise the budget quarterly. And that is my motion. And Kay, you
I
seconded,
believe there
did
was
you
a
not?
motion and a second, and, yes, fine, Joe.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So, and Leslie's gonna have to help me understand this. So you made $200,000.
For
That's not
January.
money you could just pull out and use. You can't separate that $200,000 out of stocks and put it in a bank account.
No, we've got to go within the cash account where some of the dividends are actually placed, and we pull to cover bills as the amount is needed. It's sectioned out every once in a
So
while.
you can't go ahead and pull that out and put it in a bucket,
No,
so that you've
The
got it.
only part that's pulled out immediately would be tribal operations, 15%.
well, I'd still have to go to the trust
I know.
investment
I know.
group and have them take,
But that one's paid all in a lump sum, that's not spread out over the year.
I think this is two different issues here. You're wanting to know, when you look at the.
When you look at the account, you say, well, we made $200,000,
Mhm.
okay? And you're saying you don't know if this is gonna last all year.
Mhm.
I mean, so
We
you
can't
can't
count
take
every-
it and put it over here in a bucket
no,
No.
and feed off of it all year.
In order to do that, you have to sell the investments, convert them from investments into cash.
What do we do, draw down about 4 times a year, has been our practice,
yeah,
every 3 months?
about every quarter, yes. We usually don't keep more than 20 to 30,000 in the cash checking account from the draws. That way we don't, for one,
Smart move,
bounce
because
any-
it's still drawing interest on the rest of it.
yes, it's still getting interest on the checking and et cetera, but like I said, they've gotta go in and sell off little bits and pieces in order to get that money into the checking account. So just because we showed a profit for January, doesn't mean that I've got that $204,000 sitting there ready in the checking account to spend however we want it
That's true.
and throw it back.
But
They
this
would have
budget is
to,
for the whole year.
yeah, but you're also stipulating, that you're coming every quarter. So if we take January, you have February, March, and come in March, we've lost $350,000.
We immediately lower the budget.
Yeah, so you're gonna cut it all out because, once again, we're back in a major hole. That's where,
Chance you gotta take.
so, but your committees can run for 3 months and spend whatever they want out of the estimated budget you're taking from the 209. So what happens when your
I think
committees,
we just about have to when it's been published in the January paper. We have to commit to 3 months. And that's what the people are screaming about. Mainly at Arvest Bank and at me, because
Well-
I'm the treasurer. And,
Yes,
I
and
would
some,
like to address that,
some
because
people
I
are
know
even
I
sending
did-
letters to
I-
Arvest.
well, but I have had discussions with you and Homer both about it. And, you know, when you give me a response of, we'll call Arvest Bank, I did not elect Arvest Bank. We elected you 7 people. So of course, we have to go to you. You are the ones responsible. So at the end of the day, the buck has to stop somewhere, and it's at this table. So yes, people,
It is at this table, but how many tribal members do you see at this meeting?
well, I know, but what I'm saying is, you can't blame it all on Arvest Bank.
No.
You can't tell me to call
Absolutely you
Arvest
can't.
Bank.
Absolutely, you
It's-
can't blame
it's
it
this
all on
committee
Arvest Bank.
That is
You blame it
responsible.
on the stock market.
You were, but that was your choice to put it in the stock market, is what I'm saying. So, I, as a previous council member, thank God you weren't successful in getting the $2 million moved over. So, but I
If
do
we would've
understand, and Chief and I have had arguments about this,
If
so.
we did the same thing with it, we wouldn't have put it in Arvest Bank. We'd have probably put it in CDs for a backup to the trust board.
Right, and that's what,
And
I
that's
don't
what I
understand
was
why you
thinking.
don't do with this money.
Well, on, people contacting Arvest directly, I got a phone call from Arvest saying he'd been attacked.
Right.
And I thought, well, why didn't the people come to the meeting and talk to us?
Well, but we were told to call Arvest Bank.
Not by me.
not by me.
That's
But
what
I know
I
that's
say
what
too.
Joe Brooks had told me to do, was call Arvest Bank.
Yes, chief.
No, I said blame it on
No, you
Arvest
told me
Bank
to
and the
call
stock
Arvest
market.
Bank.
Yeah, I'm recognizing chief, you.
I've got a 4 o'clock meeting I've gotta go to. Chief, so,
I'm a lot more conservative than some of you guys think I am. I don't look for a minute like us not making money last year is y'all's fault. As a matter of fact, I've heard that we made $360,000, something like that, year before last, and we lost $45,000 more last year than the 360.
May I clarify that, please?
Leslie has a-
In 2017, we made over 317,000. In 2018, we lost over 345,000. We are a difference of $24,000 in the hole between the 2 years. Now, that does not include the full 10, 15 years that we've had this investment. It's just the past 2 years.
True, which that's the first negative year we've ever had, I believe.
And that's why, like I said, it brings up this discussion. This is the first time I believe that we've had to go, according to the trust document, without a budget because we technically did not make interest and dividends last year. Because of the up and down with markets, the gross national product rates, our bonds, mutual interest, percentage rates, etc. I mean, it's not all the stock market. You know, we've got a very large diversified portfolio. It doesn't have like 80% sitting in a stock market that is too risky for this money. We've got it in mutual funds and bonds and other interest-bearing options. You know, we just got very unlucky for the year and that it went up and down, up and down, up and down. By the time we ended in 2018, we were down. And it's a hard thing to deal with because we didn't lose our principal. We've still got the 3.8 sitting in there trying to make us more money again. But it's kind of foolish to make money and then assume that we're not gonna lose any through the rest of the year. Let's go ahead and spend this because we have it right now. And this is at the end of January, you still don't know where we're at the end of February. So for all I know, the market can fluctuate again with everything that's going on, and we may end up losing 300,000 for February. So, but you've obligated the 155.
4 million, a little over $4 million, which is still 200,000 above the 3.8. That's why that's put in the trust document, but we absolutely cannot let the trust monies drop below 3.8. So if we see they get down to 4 million, we better start getting worried, because it could drop 200,000 in 1 month.
Yes,
But it's not there. We're at 4,293,000.
Can I finish?
Yes.
Sorry,
please do.
I apologize on that one.
I think you've already made 100,000 this month.
I think we made
And the reason I
200,000.
think that is, I keep a running index of the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and the Russell 2000. And we know what we made in January, and I know what the indexes did in January. And I've compared what they've already done in February, and it projects, if we kept on going in February, like we did so far in February, you might even make 177,000 in February. But if it doesn't make another dime, you've already made 95,000
In just this
In
month.
February.
in February. That's,
Of course, Leslie's right. What happens if 2 or 3 months from now, we drop 250,000? It can do that,
well,
but we're still well above the 3.8 million.
isn't that why you thrown in that motion to
Review it every
review
3
it in
months,
3 months?
which would be at our April meeting. We'd review it again.
How does the 150,000 compare to previous year's budgets? For instance, what was the 2018 budget?
We raised the
160,000.
budget by 25%.
It was
about-
160,000 of what was given for 2018.
It was a little over 160.
160 and change, I don't have the exact number in memory, but
500 and some thousand, I think.
Would you consider starting out with 100,000 to be revised upward if we see these gains continue on? Being a little more conservative. As you say, you can always revisit it.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
may I say something?
certainly.
I think we're playing Russian roulette here, actually, when we start talking about the stock market. I can understand where Joe comes, because I kind of felt that way, well, we've got a couple hundred to play with, of your 3.8, and we can use a couple 100,000 there, you know, and still be 3.8. But, again, you know, I'm really doubtful about the stock market business, given the current situation. I know we've been having a good month here. December was terrible,
That's true too.
and it's picked up here in January and some February here. But it's not a guarantee.
No, of course not.
You know, we don't have our money invested that where we're gonna get a 3% every year, like
Like if it
we
was
could
in a
find a
CD.
place that we could stick our money into where it's gonna be guaranteed, we're gonna guarantee you 2.5 or 3% every year.
Such as a CD.
Yeah, with a CD or something like that, but playing the stock market in this game, there's no guarantees. I've warned about the climate of, our political climate in our politics, which affects the stock market and our bottom line. I have very little faith in us, in this kind of continuing on. There's even talk about even the banks crashing. We lose it all. That's a possibility.
In that
We're
case-
$22 billion in debt,
in that
trillion.
case, everybody would lose it all.
Yeah,
But they're
you're
still
subject to
building.
lose it all.
But they're still building new banks on every corner, John.
They may still be building new bases, but that doesn't mean that they're not gonna crash.
You're right, it doesn't.
And, our political climate and what we faced with here with the uncertainty of the president and his abilities, you know, to figure, even with the China market yet, the Asian market, the other markets out there, the geopolitical factor, you factor that in and how it's gonna affect. We don't know what the climate's gonna do. Maybe the farmers can't make anything this year. We don't know, the floods, the temperature, increase and all that kind of stuff. You know, I don't think we could say, well, we're gonna, you know, we can't depend on the stock market.
You know, we can't predict the future at all.
Yeah,
not just
exactly,
the markets.
exactly, and to think that we can, well, we got this much, and then we're gonna have this much and that much, you know. It's too, I think the market is too shaky for us to be gambling.
So would you favor
But you kinda gotta look at
selling
the
some of the investments, not the ones that are at a loss, because you don't wanna take that loss, but when they have gained, sell them then and convert that money to CDs? Is that what you would recommend?
I guess, I think we need to kind of like, us kind of get some additional financial advice in where maybe we could place our money, where we can get more of a solid return, wherever that might be. I kind of think, you know, with the brains here, I kind of look at you as one of our brains, you know, to kind of, to figure out where these markets might be, who can give us the best advice to where we can place some money. Maybe don't all the, I don't like the idea of all
Money
the.
places that are less risky.
Right, exactly, and where we are getting at least 2 or 3% return back.
Does that sound like CDs to you, Leslie?
But you
Some,
can't,
yes, but you can't lock in always the CD percentage.
not only that, you can't serve your people properly on 2%. And the most you're gonna get on a CD right now is 2.65, and that's on an 18-month CD with more than $1 million.
I think we should be thinking about maybe, I'm kind of leery about us having all of our chickens in the same coop here, you know?
We don't have it all in stock.
That's why we
Yeah.
have reinvestment.
In the Arvis Bank, and just one bank what I'm talking about, even though it is scattered out, different type of investment through Arvis and through their expertise and I have faith, I know they're doing a good job for us, they've been doing a good job for us. I'm not critical of
I've
them.
heard from people that have their retirement and other savings at some of these other investment places, and they also had a bad year
Sure.
last year. I'm just hearing it across the board. So would you say that for part of our funds, say the reinvestment funds, to be less risky, put those in CDs and not,
We need,
not with
yeah,
our
let's
best?
explore, what I'm saying is, let's look at it and explore it, and whatever we could come up with that was kind of like, maybe give us more of an assurance. You know, this is what we're looking for, the assurance, so we could fund our program. And, we're standing in the fall below that 3.8 million, if we get a couple more, we get another hit here, you know,
Those
a couple
big
$100,000
losses.
or $2,000 or $3,000 hit, you know, we're gonna go below it. And then, that's just my concern about it. what I feel about it, I wanna give our program some money, don't get me wrong.
Well, we all do.
I would love, you know, to rake off another, and then it's what do we give them? I mean, can we figure out a amount to kinda like maybe give them all 5,000 apiece, or, but I know our trust document gives a percentage, but that percentage is on the money that we may make. But can we, you know, maybe if we have to do something along that line so that we can just keep them propped up, you know, for their expenditures through the year? You know, just a blanket amount, you know, $5,000 each, I think, what we've got, six?
Well, whatever we set it at, we have to go by those percentages.
Yeah, but anyway, that's just what just what I'm saying, you know, if we want to try to give our program something, you know, even though we have that percentage like that, you know.
Call for the question, and my motion stands as I presented.
Okay, and with the 150,000,
153,476.24,
okay,
with the right to revise every 3 months.
we have a motion and, oh, I think Kay already
Yeah,
seconded.
Kay second.
Get that. So set the budget, I wanna word this correctly, can you repeat again for me, Joe?
153,476.24, which is exactly 75% of what we earned in January. The fair market value.
That's at 200,000.
But you gotta stop and kinda look at RFS record. They've had one negative year,
And we've
Out of
had
how
it for
many?
15 years.
have been with them a long time.
Looking at the stock market, things changes here, Joe.
I agree, but you could put it in a
I agree
CD at
with you.
2.65%, and the bank could go broke tomorrow. And you're only insured for, I think they
250,000.
raised it, you're insured for 250,000.
You have to get pledged collateral if you have a balance.
My recommendation, John, if
Or put it in multiple banks, so you
we're
only have
through,
one.
we're through the discussion, I'll say it later.
Okay, and then the rest of that was to be reviewed quarterly?
Quarterly.
To,
Which would be reviewed again in April, which would be the end of the first quarter of the year.
okay, we have the motion, we have the second, is there any further discussion? Yes.
Is there some way that we could protect our 3.8 to be in the motion itself?
It's in the trust document, we can't go any lower than that.
But if you're saying that we're gonna take 150,000 out, where, out of our what?
It ain't gonna all come out at once, Leslie explained that a while ago. It's gonna come out in quarterly draws.
It's just the budget.
It's just a
We're
budget,
not taking the whole year budget.
it's a
out at
guess
once.
at what you're gonna spend. It's a wild guess. That's what a budget is. Look at how many times the federal government revises their budget every year.
Well, we're talking about our budget here, Joe, not the federal government. I
No,
know we're trying to,
but a budget can be revised.
it could be revived, yes, I understand that, but I'm just saying that, as long as we can protect our additional,
Yes, that's why we,
I agree with that.
at every meeting, you know, we look and see, how close is it getting?
so
to
that's
that
gonna be every 3 months,
Every 3 months.
every 3 months?
But monthly we meet and see the numbers.
Monthly, I give a financial report, so we can talk about it at every meeting.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, sure.
So that's the.
But I'm all for kind of like, you know, doing something so that we can keep our programs propped up and keep them going.
And as long as we're, well, we have.
I just didn't wanna gamble with this stock market stuff there, you know, putting this, you know, but I understand what you said.
Okay. So we have a motion, we have a second, we've had discussion, any more questions from anybody? If not, I'll call the question, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I'm opposed, so the motion is carried. And so that was 5. Okay, and then yes, chief,
I appreciate you letting me finish my comments. Much wasn't 8 year before last 3/17. 25,000 more than that. In the last 2 months. If the stock market just stays level for the next 7 days, you're gonna have made 305,000.
If,
If it's
If
down,
stays level.
it's down.
we don't know if
But
it's.
any business is a
Well,
gamble
but-
wherever
You
you
know, the
can
stock
go.
market is the
Please,
stock
trust
market.
board members, the chief to speak.
Here's my only point, and it's really saying to y'all, I think you do a good job. If you take that $305,000 and take off that 28,500 or $45,000 that we lost in the 2 previous years, you're still averaging 2.8%, which is about 0.8% more than the CDs have made on that $2 million, of which half should have been this trust board.
That's my
So-
point.
Don't look at it like y'all, or even the market, is messing with our tribe's finances or anything, because I don't think anybody is. I'm just trying to say that those trust funds have made more money in the last 26 months than the CDs. Of course, the CDs are safer, but the safer you get, the less you're gonna make.
Returns.
And I'm proud of it.
Thank you, chief, for your vote of confidence in us, we appreciate that. Yes, Joe?
I want to compliment the chief on stating what he did about the trust board and the tribe. I agree with him, half that money belonged to the trust board, it was a joint lawsuit. It should have been 50-50, but that's here and gone. What I'm gonna say is, if we'd just took our reinvestment,
Gone, excuse me,
it's already invested,
yes.
for 18 months
For the-
CDs.
for the-
We didn't get 100 signatures on that petition. I guess there weren't 100 tribal members that
I
cared
hadn't even
enough
seen 30.
to sign on
We
it.
haven't seen the petition, have we?
Yeah.
I mean, the
In
accumulation of it.
my office here, I've got 35
I mean,
signatures.
Crystal, she was the
No,
one,
I hadn't seen any from her.
that's what I was saying, you know, have we seen any of all of these signatures?
No. Tribal members are gonna sit out here and talk, I don't care how good a job you do, there's gonna be a negative group against you. We've gotta do what we gotta do what the trust document says, not to go below 3.8 million. So if it gets down to where it's 4 million, we better be thinking of something else that's a lot more secure. I agree with what John's saying, whether we have any services for our tribal members or not.
It still has to be kept above that level.
Still gotta be kept above 3.8 if we have to direct Harvest Bank, start selling our stock. All of it.
But
When you
we-
get down to that point, you don't have a choice.
But we don't anticipate it'll come to that. And
I hope not. John, what I was gonna say is if we just took the reinvestment money every year, and if we'd have been doing that since the trust board has been intact, the trust, just reinvestment account would have over $1 million in it. But we're not doing anything with the reinvestment. We're letting it roll right back into the principal.
So would you suggest that we take what's in reinvestment right now, which I believe is around
And find the highest term CDs that you can buy.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're 5-year CDs, you get the highest amount you can get.
We've got just under 29,000. Would you be in favor of us taking what's in there right now, just in reinvestment, and getting that into the highest CD we can?
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Even if it's a 5-year CD. I mean, look at it anyhow.
Yeah, we'll look at
Look at
it.
it.
We need to look at it. But one of the things I always, I like for us to get out of this box of, stocks and bonds and, I know there's other, it's not in our trust document, you know, for us to do some other type of investing.
Now,
You
we
know,
have to
where-
follow the trust document.
Yeah, where we
If
could,
you want it
well, we
changed
could-
there, the people will have to vote on it.
10% is, that's why it's worded reinvestment.
I would be in favor of taking just, what's the balance here, the 28,947, and searching for the highest rate CDs and getting that put in there, because right now it's not earning anything, it's just sitting there.
Even, you know, if it's a respectable bank that you can trust, put it in 10-year CD, if they offer such a thing. I don't know what the longest CD they have is.
Leslie, are you familiar with?
You familiar, Leslie?
With, CDs,
Yeah.
Yes.
What's the longest term of CD they offer?
I think you can go up to 36 months,
36?
but.
I was thinking I seen some at 60 months. But I may be wrong.
I haven't seen a 61, but that's not saying that it doesn't exist. I mean, it's just a matter of speaking, I wanna say your banks will go up to like a year or better. But we've got Edward Jones also, who kind of specialize in the certificates of deposit because they take them out throughout the United States into different banks. I'm not 100% on timeline or percentage. It'd be something I'd need to research into.
Okay,
So I'd be more than happy to see what I can find out.
okay.
I talk to Edward Jones pretty regular since I'm the treasurer on that, reinvestment we just did with them. One of our CDs come due. We did it on 18-month CD. We got 2.65% was the best they could find out there.
Well, we've got that many actually in different section timelines
I know,
where
but
we've
that's-
got everything from, yeah,
But that's
our-
overall we got on what was due.
so the longest we have is
That's
the
not the
18
whole
month,
amount.
but that's not the full, I mean, we've got 6 months, we've got 12
Well,
months, we've got
18
18 months. So
Yeah,
it's
staggered.
staggered
I don't think we
and,
got any longer than 18 months. I
no,
don't
we
think. I
haven't
think
done any longer than the 18 months.
There's 6 months, 12 months, and 18 months.
Once you hit 18, from what I understood from Edward Jones, was that, from then on, you're really not getting too high, much higher in the percentage rate of what you're getting.
Levels off.
Yeah. And so your length of time isn't gonna make a difference in the percentage of interest that you'll get through it. So 18 months at 2.6 would be just as good as 22 months at 2.6. So you've got the better, because at some point in time, you may need to liquidate in order to use. So you don't want too much in the penalty phase if you've gotta draw early. So if you've got it at 18 months, unless you've got others ahead of time, you can't draw that out without a penalty phase to it with your certificates of deposits.
Well, John, what do you think about that?
no, I don't want to invest it like that, where the investment committee's hand will be tied for the next 10 years.
How would it be
One
10
time,
years?
huh?
How would it be 10 years on an 18
Or
months?
5 years, or 3
You can do
years,
a
or
3
whatever
months.
it is that you, how they talking about being invested
In a CD,
in a CD,
so.
and you can't touch it for 2 years, 3 years, or 5
she's
years, or
saying-
whatever you're talking
She's saying
about.
18 months,
18 months.
or you can take them out for 3 months, or 6 months, or whatever term you want.
But it
Well,
lowers the interest rate.
The shorter you
A lot less.
have it,
The shorter the period of time is,
interest.
it lowers the interest rate.
so you could put in a 3-month CD.
Or we can do something else altogether without CDs. I came up with the idea that we could have invested into a t-shirt making operation.
But that
And it
doesn't
wasn't-
follow the trust document.
It would have followed the trust document because we invested into reinvesting where we could have made some money with it.
I think that
It doesn't say
specifies,
in there just to keep it in stocks and bonds either.
I believe it says that it needs to be in an interest-bearing account of some type, rather than, buying a business. Chief, is that your understanding also, or Joe? I believe it says in here it needs to be,
Ours at our best are on interest-bearing accounts, we just didn't earn any last year. Interest or dividends. But that's only one bad year out of 10 or 11, however long we've been with them. And I actually think it's been longer than that.
So I wanna say, they went back quite a far,
oh, here it is, under D, number 4, all money under the supervision of the board shall be placed in secure interest-bearing accounts.
Actually, if you followed that statement in the trust document to the letter, we couldn't even have our best bank, investing our money in stocks and bonds.
No, you'd have to have it all in CDs. But the Office of Trust Fund Management, okay to override that.
Yeah, they approved it.
That's when we drew out all the money, the Office of Trust Fund Management said you have to invest there if you want.
There's been years when we've made 6 or 7, 8% maybe
Oh, yes.
on our money.
Mhm.
And I don't think you ought to spend your reinvestment.
Well, like
On
2018,
CDs, they're gonna make less money usually than anything.
if you took 300 and some thousand out of 3,900,000, we may have a heck of a year in 18. Probably around 9% or 10.
you never know. Like I said, it just depends on where you put it.
And then the next year it's 0.
I talked to the money manager one time and said, hey, if you got $1 million, take 1.5% of that $1 million and put it in the riskiest things you can think of, because it might make you more money than the other 98.5% does. Of course, it might lose you 1.5% too. But, no, I'm not a financial guru.
Or do you wanna just table that issue for
Yes,
now?
yeah, just table it,
Okay,
we'll just table it,
The reinvestment issue.
the reinvestment issue, just table it for now.
The other people on that committee
If-
discuss it.
You know, this is one of the things that I mentioned before, is that, if we do want to do something, some other type of investment, you know, where we could possibly make some money out of it. There's some things that I know that we could probably do, that I could get 50% off of an investment. But the trust document, or whatever, it needs to be kind of reviewed where we can have some flexibility, not doing anything risky where we will lose, but still has a flexibility where we can invest and do some things. As an example, the t-shirt business, that we could have got $30,000 worth of equipment for $10,000. And it was a turnkey operation, it had everything set up, the graphic artist, the guy that knows how to do the business, the guy's been in the business before, it was all set up and ready to go. You see what we could make on it. But anyway, that's gone, but we couldn't do something like that.
hey, Leslie,
With the t-shirt business, our problem was that we didn't have enough in capital
Yeah.
in order to do so.
We
Our
had to
graphic
get over it.
artists, all we would have bought was the machinery,
That's it.
you know?
Yeah.
We had no place to put it, no money to be able to rent someplace, we didn't have money to pay the artists.
$30,000 left, we would still had, for $10,000, I got $30,000.
Well, you got $30,000.
$18,000 left over.
you would have had
Yeah, we
$30,000 worth of
could've probably
equipment
set up
sitting
wherever we
somewhere
needed to.
rusting in the rain. Because we had no place to put it, nobody to rent it, and we did not have the financial capital in the reinvestment committee in order to create that business opportunity.
And no market to move it, because all the big t-shirt companies have moved to larger towns. Martinsville doesn't even have one anymore, I don't think.
Said investing in a business, you've gotta come up with at least a year's worth of working capital
No, it's got.
back behind you before you ever start a business
They would do a few t-shirts.
in order to get the investment to actually repay back in.
But that's over now, you know, we can go ahead and go on.
What I would suggest to you is, you know, you have a copy of the trust document, or you can. print
I have, yeah.
You already can print
Glad
it.
to say we do that, is there two different ones?
No, no, this is the one I got right out in the office right here. I asked Charlotte if please go onto the website and print it off for me, so I'd have an official copy. So this is it. What I would suggest you do is, you look through it and see where you'd like to make a change,
Yeah,
and then get it on the ballot.
sure, that's
So
what we
people
need to
can
do,
vote
you
on it.
know, where we can have,
That's
where
how
we
you
can have
change
the
this.
flexibility to do some stuff here. We can't even, do something where we can make some money, other than put it in stocks and bonds, or put it in some kind of a
Interest-bearing accounts.
interest-bearing account.
So that's what you do, you write up the changes you would like to see, and then you get the people behind you. Would this be one where you need the 100 signers on a petition to get it on the ballot? Is that
Our
correct?
trust document, I seen where our trust documents allow us also to get, to do an initiative petition.
Mhm.
Yeah, it does.
The trust document allows us to do
So
that.
step
So if
one,
I
you
wanted to
figure
make
out
a
your
change or
changes.
approval,
Step two, you get your petition
then I can
signed.
get it into an initiative
And then
petition.
step
Yeah,
three,
we put
they
stuff,
vote on
we
it,
put stuff
yes or
on
no.
the ballot before to do the trust document.
Okay, is there anything else under unfinished business? If not, we can go to new business and vote on the cultural preservation issue here.
Yes, we need to do that.
Now, we don't wanna forget that.
$3,000 on it.
$3,000.
I'll make the motion that the trust board approve $3,000 for the, what's the date again? March 23rd,
March 23rd.
March 23rd stomp dance at Dewey, Oklahoma. I'm making that form of a motion.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second by Roger. Is there any further discussion on $3,000 for the stomp dance?
Out of cultural
Yes,
preservation.
out of cultural preservation.
And they'll take care of all of your records and
Yeah,
what you paid out.
There's, probably 3 sets of records that we keep. The main record
Yeah.
down there with Nita, I got one, and, one other person's got one.
That's-
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'll have everything because you can't spend any money unless you come through me.
Yes.
So,
there's
And
4.
believe me, she requires receipts.
Yeah.
I'm a harsh taskmaster.
So unless you want chili, if just me did it,
Yeah.
there will be a receipt.
No,
For
now
the
you're,
beans and tomato juice.
Okay, we got a motion and a second on the $3,000 out of cultural preservation for the March 23rd stop dance. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried unanimously. Is there any other new business? Not, we can set the time, date, and location of our next meeting.
You're happy with 3 o'clock, I am.
I like it, especially
I do too.
during these winter months when it starts early.
I like it for a whole time. That way the
The
tribes
third
still.
Wednesday is March 20th,
The 20th.
which is the vernal equinox. It's the first day of spring. Yes,
That'd be a good day to have that first day of spring.
that's kind of fitting, isn't
Yeah.
it? Fresh start.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 p.m.
Probably snowing.
Oh, well, yeah, that could happen.
You making that form of
Weather is
motion, Mary
risky
Jo?
too. Okay,
Are you making that in the form of a motion?
yes, I'll make a motion that our next meeting of the Delaware Trust Board be Wednesday, March 20th, 3 p.m., right here.
And I'll second that motion.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. And now I entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting.
Second.
Okay, Roger, and we have a second? And are adjourned at 4:35.
Everybody keep a